YouTube, Awesome Writer here. Welcome to my review for Avataro Sentai DonBrothers Episode 11. Before we get started, as always, I want to remind you guys to like this video if you enjoy it and hit that subscribe and bell button to get more videos like this and more. Episode 11. I thought this was another strong one. I thought it was almost equally split between some pretty cool plot revelations and lore build and some just classic Sentai fun. Let's talk about the classic Sentai fun first. So, they have a lot of fun in this episode with the fact that the Rangers don't know each other's identities yet, or at least all of them don't. You have Black continuing to be on the run from the cops, and when he gets confronted by them, he runs off into a rider opening. He runs into not the monster of the week, but one of the monsters that's a bestial, which we'll get into in the more plot-heavy stuff. But he poisons him with an evil origami, and he winds up in bad shape. So he ends up at Kiji Brothers' door. Kiji Brother goes to Don Moimotaro. Don Moimotaro is busy pissing off the world's biggest Naruto fan that becomes the monster of the week. So he sends Yellow and Blue to help. And so you have this situation where you're intermingling Yellow and Blue and Pink helping nurse Black back to health. But they keep getting called into battle because Moimotaro gets attacked. And like at first Moimotaro's like, well, I got this, but then Blue and Yellow, who know who each other is, and I think they both know who Moimotaro is. I know Yellow, does Blue know who he is? I think so. It's hard to keep track. But anyway, they know the stuff. They don't know that we know they know we know. That's actually basically this episode. Like, they're trying to heal him and, like, keep Kiji Brother distracted and be like, oh, do this, and we're gonna go fight. And they keep getting in these funny situations, like, Kiji Brother has this idea, or the others have the idea for Kiji Brother to go to the hospital and pretend he's the one sick, because they can't send Black to the hospital since he's a fugitive. But then he ends up having to go to the hospital anyway because he steps on some tacks in a battle. And then there's like a moment later where they leave soup on and it spills on Kiji Brother right before he goes into battle, and he doesn't know they went into battle. And then Blue throws Pink as like a boomerang, and then when they come back to the real place at the apartment, he's on the floor and they're like, well, what happened to you? And it's just a lot of funny misunderstandings. And it all winds up that they figure out who Pink is because they have him do this thing where he puts salt on his head and prays that Inu Brother will get better. And then when he gets sent to battle, he's morphed, but with the salt on his head. So then now they know who Pink is. I think all we need now is for Black to come into the fold and for them to figure out who each other is. I think everyone else knows who each other is now, but it was really fun. It was some good classic Sentai antics. I think it made use of the premise really well. And I think so far now with this, they haven't had the dynamic overstay its welcome. For the past few weeks, I've been thinking, like, I really do enjoy how different this is in terms of the pacing of the team not knowing each other, but I don't want it to overstay its welcome, and I think this was the right time for that. And we still have a little bit left to go as far as all of the Rangers, but I think they're doing a pretty good job with that, and it overall resulted in some fun. However, it wasn't all fun and games, as the episode started and ended on some pretty big revelations. You actually start with the main villains, the Cerebros or whatever, talking about the bestials, and then all of a sudden they are interrupted by Hoodie Prison Guy. That's his name in my head. And he talks about how his little dimension is like the barrier between our world and the Cerebros world. Bestials shouldn't be able to get through, but they are getting through. And he warns them that the bestials will have this origami that they can use, which obviously comes into play with the police officer guy, who we see folding this origami that he puts into the mouth of Inu Brother. That sounds really gross, but that's what happens. But that's not the most important thing that happens in regards to that. So as we know, we have this whole like doppelganger thing going on with Black's girlfriend and Pink's wife. And they focus a little bit on that, of Black reminiscing like, oh, you know, I used to have such a good life with her. And then Pink's always like, my wife! So Pink's wife actually comes home when everyone else is at battle. And you're like, oh my god, she's going to see him. Like, what's going to happen? And at first she's like, oh, who is this? And I'm like, oh, she doesn't recognize him. Maybe that means her memory was erased. And then all of a sudden, she goes full-on creepy and does like some Ring Girl grudge stuff. And is like, that wasn't a very good impersonation. Creepy. And then she like knows what the origami thing is and takes it out. And then at the end of the episode, she's creepily making origami. And I believe it's like a crane. I think crane was one of the ones that the guy showed at the beginning. So that was a huge thing I was not expecting at all. Like, obviously we know there's something up with her. Whether it's like, who knows, maybe it's a twin-based emergency, but we pretty much know it's probably the same person. We don't know what's going on there. Like I mentioned last time we focused on this, I was like, well, does she not remember? Did something happen to her memory because of the game? Is she hiding out with Pink and she does remember? And this episode seems to confirm she's a bestial. We don't know for sure how the bestials work. All we have to go on is that detective guy. So I don't know whether the bestials possess a person or do they like shapeshift into them. We don't know, but that was a huge revelation. I wasn't expecting it. It was an extremely interesting revelation, and I'm really excited to see what happens now with that. And I really love how at the beginning of the episode they had him talking about the origami, and it foreshadowed not just like what the Monster of the Week bestial stuff did, but also foreshadowed the stuff with the wife girlfriend. And I was not expecting that at all, and it was like a nice callback to the very beginning. So I thought it was a really strong episode. I thought it was a lot of really good Sentai fun, but also some really great deepening of the mystery. So I'm going to give this one a 4 out of 5. But what did you guys think of the episode? What do you think is going on with the wife-girlfriend? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you get the notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.